Welcome to the Creative Liberty Podcast. Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. Well, Zelensky was in America begging for more money and bombs, and the Democrats delivered. They were actually out signing bombs. They had a little signing ceremony, signing bombs. I have no idea what they're writing, but don't they understand it? Putin won't read those. They're meant to blow up. And while they're doing that, Trump is out buying groceries for people. I kid you not. You can look it up. And a friend of a friend on Facebook wrote, John Hicks wrote, the Jack Sparrow rules. Now, before I jump into this, people say Trump lies. People say Democrats lie. Politicians lie, right? You know, vote for me and I'll do whatever I can. But lying is a means to an end with the Democrats. I've told people it's a virtue. And it didn't become more apparent until like when Mitt Romney was running. And, what's his face? He's passed away now. He came out and made a big declaration that Mitt Romney hadn't paid his taxes in many years. And I might think of his name in a little bit. But anyway, Mitt Romney brought the receipts. And it may have even been like after the election that Mitt showed his tax returns. I can't remember. And but apparently it damaged Mitt in the eyes of people who maybe pay taxes. Well, the congressman or whoever made the old guy, the Democrat, that made the Harry Reid, I believe, was the one that was saying it. He was asked about that in an interview with, state media run reporter, liberal reporter, and said, "Hey, you said this about Mitt, and Mitt's proved that he paid all his taxes." And all he looked at her, he smirked and said, "Well, he didn't win, did he?" In other words, it was totally okay for him to lie about this person, and it would help them win the election. So, going back to Zelensky and everything, John Hicks writes, he puts Jack Sparrow rules. I don't know John Hicks, but anyway, he says, number one, if they send $175 billion to Ukraine without a declaration of war, I think a plane jaunt will not deter them. If the Republicans did not stop them there, it matters not now. Number two, morally, the left has fully embraced the consequentialist ethic. All that matters is the end. If this helps Kamala defeat Trump, the act is by definition moral. Pause. I want to say that with the left's rhetoric about somebody needs to put a bullet in Trump's head, Kathy What's-Her-Butt holding up a severed head of Trump, and, the different rhetoric and plays and depictions of a dead Trump, then the people who are crazy look at that and they say, well, then, yeah, we should do this. He's a threat to our democracy, which is a whole other rabbit trail I won't get down. We are a constitutional republic, and Trump is a threat to their way of life. He was upending the apple cart and stopping the gravy train for a lot of those politicians when he was in office. So a lot of people don't know that. He and Kash Patel were uprooting the deep state within. So, and now, unpause. Number 3, John Hicks writes, the law of image. This looks like it benefits the underclass because it supports people who say they are for the underclass. It does not matter that the underclass are poorer than they were 4 years ago. If you're on the political left, not actually the ideological left, this is what one would argue. And they would argue correctly. The right has not resisted war acts without votes either. Who runs the House now? Yeah, there was a time, 9/11, America wanted its pound of flesh, and we went to war. But before that, you had to go through Congress to get any kind of war acts approved, and now we don't. So who runs the House now? With that being said, I offer the third party. So the third party candidate, in my mind, is Trump, because he came in, though he's running Republican, and I get it, the lesser of two evils. Well, look at it this way. It's the better of two candidates. How's the candidate going to better America? And we have a record. We can look at 4 years under Trump, 4 years under Biden and Harris. And Harris is saying, on day one, she's going to do this. Well, she's had the opportunity to do that because, let's just face it, Biden has not been running this country. And I don't know if she has. I don't think she has. But now she has to kind of step up and pretend like she has. She's still got time. She's still got time to do whatever. But no, she has to be president first. Got to pass the bill before you can read it, according to Nancy Pelosi. This is garbage. It's garbage, and we shouldn't stand for it. Excuse me. Had to cough there. So, pulled this off the internet. I didn't write it, but it's spot on. Trump's the third party candidate. He came in vowing to do things. I did not vote for Trump the first time around, but he got my attention when he started actually doing the things that he promised he was going to do. I'm like, okay, here's a politician, not a politician. Here's an outsider who's going to do things that he is actually doing the things that he said he was going to do. Okay, I'm paying attention now. So this was on the internet, on Facebook. I found this, and it's just a post. I don't know who it's from, but it says who am I voting for and why? Okay, so here we go. That moment when someone says, "I can't believe you'd vote for Trump," I simply reply, "I'm not voting for Trump. I'm voting for the First Amendment and freedom of speech. I'm voting for the Second Amendment and my right to defend my family, my life and my family. I'm voting for the next Supreme Court justices to protect the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. I'm voting for the continued growth of my retirement and reducing inflation. I'm voting for a return of our troops from foreign countries and the end to America's involvement in foreign conflicts. I'm voting for the Electoral College and for the republic in which we live. I'm voting for the police to be respected once again and to ensure law and order. I am tired of all the criminals having a revolving door and being put back in the street. I'm voting for the continued appointment of federal judges who respect the Constitution and Bill of Rights. I'm voting for keeping our jobs to remain in America and not be outsourced all over the world to China, Mexico, and other foreign countries. I want USA made. I'm voting for secure borders and have legal immigration. I can't believe we have actually flown 380,000 illegal immigrants into our country. I am voting for doing away with all of the freebies given to all of the illegals and not looking after the needs of the American citizens. I am voting for the military and the veterans who fought for this country to give the American people their freedoms. I am voting for the unborn babies to have the right to live. I'm voting for peace, progress. I'm voting for peace, progress in the Middle East. I'm voting to fight against human and child trafficking. I'm voting for freedom of religion. I'm voting for the right to speak my opinion and not be censored. I'm voting for the return of teaching math, history, and science instead of indoctrination of our children and pronouns. I am voting for one person. I'm not just voting for one person. I'm voting for the future of my country. I am voting for my grandchildren to ensure their freedoms and their future. What are you voting for? Trump 2024. So those are the things when people say, let's make America great again. I believe that when America is thriving, and let's just be honest, let's say we're thriving financially. We're thriving. Our the interest rates are down. The inflation is down. When people have more money, less regulations, less taxes, less government in our lives, we thrive as a nation. And we need to invest back into our communities and our nation. When we are that shining city on the hill that people actually do want to come here legally, or sometimes, hey, I want to go there even illegally if I have to. But, they're coming here. They're coming here for something. They're all being flown in and crossing the borders for a better way of life, or some are probably coming here running from. Some people are running to America. Some people are running away from their countries because they've done some bad things there. And there's bad people that come here for financial prosperity because they can sell their drugs and do their things. But when America is that shining city on the hill, then other nations prosper as well. Once we have taken care of our own, once we have taken care of our poor, our hurting, once our hospitals have what they need, once our schools have what they need, then we can think about helping others, helping other nations. America will never be invaded by a foreign army. We do not need to be the world's police. And with the right person in the White House, a strong man who's not going to put up with, anything, then we have the ability to be the best country for all people, American citizens, those coming in legally, because then we have opportunity, and then we can help out other nations who are struggling. And we need to, Trump had that mindset of, for instance, Iran shot down one of our drones. And so his general's like, we've got planes up in the air, we can bomb, blah, blah, blah. And Trump said, how many people died? About 200 people or 20 people, I can't remember. And Trump said, nope, turn the planes around. They shot down a piece of machinery. We're not going to go kill lives. And so Trump, in that sense, is anti-war in that the retaliation should match, So let's not take innocent lives. They shot down a piece of equipment. We'll get them some other way. And so he was an anti-war president first in my lifetime, and I love it. And that's who I'll be voting for in November. That's a great list of things. And the reason why I say Trump's the third-party candidate is because you had a ton of Republicans running against him, and he came in and just blew them out of the water. Even though he's running as a Republican, you kind of have to either run as a Republican, and that's why Rand Paul's a Republican, but really he's a Libertarian. Republican, he's a rhino, Republican in name only, but not really. He's actually, Libertarian, but those are the parties and the systems you have to play in if you're going to play in the two-party system. And so my suggestion is that Trump was and is the actual third-party candidate because of his policies, and we can see those policies lived out over 4 years. Are there things I disagree with him on? Absolutely. But I vehemently disagree with the way the Democrat Party is running itself and has gone full leftist agenda. And there's moderate Democrats that see it. There's moderate Democrats that see that they're a death cult, that the leftist in the Democrat Party, the leaders and things like that. Not my Democrat friends. I don't know, maybe some of them, but they see it. And they know that the trajectory that the left is going full on communist, socialist, you name it. And I don't even think those at the top care that it's being pushed this far to the left. But there are moderate Democrats who've seen this and they're like, nope. Like Tulsi Gabbard. A lot of Democrats are jumping ship. And so I would love to see a Tulsi Gabbard as our first female president. Not because of its first, not because she's a woman, not because she's, whatever, the first. I don't care about that. I care about her demeanor is even keel. I care about she's not a warmonger. The military-industrial complex will not allow her to be because she's anti-war. And they need to make that money. They need to bomb people and get us into wars. So with that being said, I'll throw out a prediction. If Trump wins in November, I really do believe. I don't know. Here's my prediction. It could go both ways. Like the deep state could say, you know what? Let's let Trump get into office, and then we'll just hit him with everything, the lawfare and everything like we did last time, and then he'll be gone in 4 years, and we'll demean J.D. Vance, and we'll run him into the ground for 4 years, and he won't run again, and blah, blah. There's that aspect of it. And then there's the aspect of it where we're seeing a lot come out now about Iran, putting a hit out on Trump and trying to kill Trump. It would not surprise me one bit if a tactical nuke went off in the United States and the deep state actually did it and blamed Iran and handed that off to Trump as his first order of business. And whether Iran, Russia, China, whoever they want to blame it on, and Trump doesn't take the bait. He doesn't go after Iran. He doesn't go after Russia. He doesn't go whoever the deep state says, oh yeah, and they will demand war. They will demand a war footing. And if Trump doesn't take the bait, then they will demand impeachment, that he's a traitor, that look at what he's doing. He's in bed with these people, blah, blah, blah. He did this to America. That's their tactic. They're going to hand him some sort of poison pill. And I remember back in the day, after the Clintons left office, all the staffers took the W's off of the keyboards on the computers. That was the poison pill that they left the Clintons. And so will I be surprised if there's a peaceful transition of power? Absolutely. I'll be very surprised. I will also not be surprised one bit if I don't think they'll try to do lockdowns. I think the American people are done with that. I think they've kind of floated some stupid stuff out there, and yeah, we're not doing that. It can be the flesh, some space flesh-eating virus coming to Earth, and I'm like, all right, they can just eat my flesh. I know where I'm going. I don't care. I'm not going to suit up or mask up or anything like that. I'm not going to stay in my house. Screw you. Screw you, hippies. So anyway, those are my thoughts. It's a great list for why I'm voting for Trump. I was a never-Trumper at the beginning. He proved me wrong, and that's why I'm voting for him. I could care less about his mean tweets. I could care less about his private life, as long as he's not doing anything illegal or immoral. So, yeah. And I know. But Major, what about the way he treats women and Jesus and blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? Shut up. You limp-wristed. I can't say it on the air. But anyway. But yeah. Not electing a pastor. Not electing somebody from the Gospel Coalition. Oh, my goodness. Nope. I'm electing somebody who's going to take care of America. And that has no bearing on my faith, my relationship with Jesus. Some of you may disagree. I don't care. That's another podcast for another day. We can talk about Jesus and politics. There you go. All right. Well, that's it for this episode of the Creative Liberty Podcast. Thank y'all so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Getting over a cold, if you can't tell. But, yeah, this is going to be fun. I love watching politics. I don't really necessarily care to someone mentioned oh man, I'd love to go grab a tea with you, grab a spot of tea with you and talk. And I was like, in real life, I'm less political. I could care less. And so I do love to troll Facebook with political memes and things like that. But But yeah, for me, it's interesting to watch human behavior and reaction on a scale like politics, because you can kind of see, and there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that I say, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes with deals and plays and this and that. It is a chess match for a lot of it, but we don't know, and it's fun to watch. I am a Christian, and I have conservative libertarian principles, and that's about it. But first and foremost, I'm a believer in Jesus, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And loving people and treating people with respect and dignity and things like that, and not hurting people unless they need to be hurt. You kick the door into my house and try to hurt my family, you're going to get hurt. So, because after my dog and my wife and my daughter are done with you, I'll take care of you. But anyway. But no, I do believe that there's no place for violence. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. There is a place for violence, and that is what meek men are for. Meekness doesn't mean weak. Meekness just means it is strength restrained. And so that's why the Bible talks about the meek will inherit the earth. Well, why will the meek inherit the earth? Because they're the strong ones. They're the ones who are restraining they're restraining their strength. And it's a man who has his strength under control. He knows when to be affectionate and gentle and caring and loving. And then, if need be, he can be the monster that he needs to be. He can be the man that God designed him to be strong and be the defender and be the protector, and go out and whatever that looks like, getting up early in the morning, working late at night, getting things done to provide for his family. That's strength restrained and then unleashed and then brought back. So that's what meekness means. Anywho, I've rambled long enough. I think Trump is he's the legitimate third-party candidate that people have been looking for. And if you're looking for the lesser of two evils, I need the lesser of two evils. Well, Trump's your guy, because look at his record. Look at how he stands up to not only foreign countries, but also to our deep state. All right. Well, thank y'all for listening. Again, this is second false ending. And I will try to put out more content once, I like flirting with my wife and playing with our daughter. So I put these out when I can. And I will see y'all on the next Creative Liberty Podcast. The opinions expressed in this episode of the Creative Liberty Podcast are of Major Chisholm's only, and no one else is here at the Creative Liberty Podcast. The rambling quick disclaimer. Love y'all. Take care.